Nini everyone, Zabora here. So this is the second video on debunking the Order and their ideas on what the Egyptian gods are. So we have Djehuti here, or who they call Thoth, which is actually his American name. Funny that a demon you channel from ancient Egypt would give an American name. Not even his Greek name, which is Thoth. That's where Thoth comes from. It's actually the Greek spelling, and it's pronounced Tote, not Thoth. Thoth is the American way we pronunciate his name. Pronounce, can't speak. So, why would Djehuti tell you his Greek name and then have you pronounce it the American way? Is it because you didn't really channel Djehuti? Because seriously, if I am going to be claiming that I have contact with these deities, I wouldn't include bullshit and lies about them, because any expert would be able to go, ha, look at that. That's not real. Clearly this person's full of shit. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing with these videos. I'm going to be exposing the fake fuckery. So believe it or not, the information that they have on Djehuti here is not half bad. I was actually kind of impressed with this, but at the same time, it's very shallow and missing quite a bit of real in-depth info about Djehuti. So, Djehuti is a god of writing. So, the first three expertise that they have listed here is all about writing and helping you write. Oh, what a surprise. The god of writing could help you write. Who fucking knew? Enhance your ability to work with different forms of magic. Yes, indeed. Djehuti is a great magician, and he is the one that taught Osset how to perform magic and helped bring back Osir's body by creating not only the Djed pillar, which was an Osir's spinal column, but the giant golden penis that Osset rode and became pregnant with their son Horus. And that orgasm is what woke up Osir from his death. So definitely Djehuti is definitely a god of magic. Acquire the knowledge you seek on a topic of interest. I guess so. I would more go for Sachet for that. See, Djehuti is the god of writing. He is the scribe. He is the recorder. He is very intelligent and very knowledgeable. So yeah, technically you could go to him, but I don't know. I always felt like Sachet is the record keeper. Like Djehuti writes, but Sachet it keeps the wisdom. So my interpretation, I would have gone to Sachet. Can cause pain and misfortune to a named individual. So there is only one reference of Djehuti causing pain in every myth that I could think of. And it is in the Ptolemies, which is, again, the Greek-influenced areas of Egyptian history. So you have now moved away from Egypt and entered into the Greek-influenced areas, okay? And there is this fictional book called the Book of Thoth. And in this fictional book, which is mentioned in a story from the Ptolemy periods, there are two spells written. One is the spell to understand all animals. The other spell is a spell to perceive the presence of the gods. And if you were to perceive the presence of the gods, it could cause great pain because you would understand everything that they understand. So I don't know if that's like all the suffering in the world or what, but it just says it would cause great pain to know it. And the book is called the Book of Thoth. But this is a fictional book mentioned in a story. The other books of Thoth are some 35,000 copies, and they were all, every scroll that was written and housed in a House of Life, which is a library. They were just called Per Ankh, I think, House of Life. Every book was said to be written by Djehuti because he is the god of writing. So it's very difficult to say which is a real book of Djehuti versus a fictional book of Djehuti. It's just depends. So I don't know where they got this information from. Maybe this is something they just threw in and they actually don't understand the connection with pain and Djehuti. I don't know. Gender male, of course. 6.5 feet tall. Did you know that Tehuti's favorite form was not the ibis but the baboon? He is depicted, I believe, more as a baboon than he is an ibis-headed deity. The baboon is not 6.5 feet tall. And I'm talking about a baboon, not a baboon-headed deity, but a baboon with a fucking tail and a crown, okay? The moon crown. So, 6.5 feet tall, I really wonder where you get that from. Black hair, black eyes, tan skin. Actually, Tehuti's hair is blue, believe it or not, because Djehuti is linked to, again, the ibis, and the ibis is linked to the heron, and the heron is blue, and the heron is associated with Djehuti. So, believe it or not, Tehuti's hair is Egyptian blue in a lot of reliefs. Tall, powerful form, except when he's a baboon, in which case he's like, what, 2.5, 3 feet tall. Headpiece of gold displaying an engraved ibis and blue sapphires. So, Tehuti's headpiece is the moon crown. It's a disc with what looks like horns underneath it. Okay, let's see if we can actually find it now. This is one of them. This is his other crown with the ostrich feathers and the two snakes there, the Wadjet, the serpents, the cobra upon her father's brow, Wadjet. But you see his hair? His hair's blue. Let's see here. There's the baboon I was talking about. There it is. See that? That is Tehuti's moon crown. Here's another one. That is Tehuti's moon crown. Does that look like a crown with an ibis and sapphires? No, it looks like a disc with horns because it's the moon. His headdress is the fucking moon or it's ostrich feathers. Clothing of gold and Egyptian blue wrapped skirt with no top. Okay. They didn't have gold clothing back then. They had gold. The Egyptians did not really have the ability to dye a lot of garments. So a lot of the stuff that they wore was just white. There are, of course, the more fancy stuff that the royals would wear. But priests and whatnot would have been not walking around in dyed blue skirts. They would have worn white. And the Egyptian gods are always depicted, again, wearing white. There's a skirt there. There he is with his little wrap there. Here he is with another wrap. You see that? That's just what the Egyptians wore, so that's what their gods wore, okay? Now, as you see in some of these depictions, he actually does have a top to his outfit here. And it's actually, looks like chain metal or some kind of hide. So, just depends on which depiction you're looking at. I think this one here with his scrolls has got to be one of my favorite depictions of him. But yeah, he would have worn white. He would not be wearing blue. I can't believe you actually know that Egyptian blue is a real color, though. Like, that astounds me. Egyptian blue is made from mixing silica with iron oxide and I think copper oxide and calcium, maybe? I don't know. I forget the last one. But it's a very unstable color. It has a tendency to turn darker or even change colors into like a greenish sort of hue over time. So Egyptian blue was not a color that they would have used for dyeing. It would have been used for artwork and in the cave tombs. In the tombs in like the Valley of the Kings for their funeral processions and stuff. So I'm actually really, really surprised that Egyptian blue is a real color, though. Not what it was used for. But you knew it was a real color, so kudos. Offerings, pendant. Well, again, all right. So every single deity they have in here, or demon as they call them, requires a pendant that they will sell you for $40. Now, it costs $5 to make said pendant, so they're making quite a bit of money off of you. And every deity that you work with, excuse me, demon, that you work with is going to require one of these pendants. We'll get to that in a moment. So, blood. No, blood is completely unclean, as are sexual fluids. They did not have sex in temples. It was very, very clean in ancient Egypt. They very much believed cleanliness is next to godliness, okay? So, blood was not brought in, did not have sex, no animals were sacrificed in the temples. They had other areas where they would slaughter the animals and bring in the offerings of cooked food, okay? Blood was never brought in, as blood was actually linked with beings of Isfet, beings of badness, okay? What you would call demons. And these demons are attracted to blood, so they would not allow blood into the temples. Women who are menstruating were said not to be allowed in, although there are a few conflicting records that women would go to purify themselves at temple. But I believe that this would happen after the cycling had stopped, after their menstrual cycle had stopped. So, very, very bad. Pyrite. Why would you offer a god of the moon a golden stone? He's a god of the moon. I mean, like, if we're gonna go, like, full batshit crazy and just start offering things not associated with Egypt, why not use a moonstone? Why were you using pyrite? Precious metals are sacred to Djehuti. Well, no fucking shit. Precious metals are sacred to everyone. That's why they're precious metals. I love that you include, like, gold jewelry as something Djehuti likes to wear, but you don't include gold jewelry as offerings. Colors: white, Egyptian blue, gold, silver, copper. Well, those are like the colors of every god, except for silver. Silver's kind of in between. Scents, tobacco. You know that's an American product? The Egyptians didn't have tobacco. Cedar. Most definitely. Lebanon was wiped out of cedar because of the Egyptians. Sandalwood. Oh, yes. Yes, sandalwood is extremely sacred in ancient Egypt. Ginseng. Oh, so are we in China now? Coffee. I don't think so. Ginger. I don't know. I have to look ginger up. Maybe they had ginger or something ginger-like, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. So then this is, I guess, their little sigil that they have for Djehuti, and that's the pendant that you're going to get, that they're going to sell you for $40. So they're making a $35 profit on your ass. I mean, like, if you're into fake info and being lied to, then yeah, the order kind of sounds like the place to be if you're just interested in forking over information to a couple of charlatans. These people are snake oil salesmen, and it's clear to see. So let's move on to our next god. That'll be the next video, though.